Superman fans, to your speeding bulletin for the week November 2nd to November 8th, 2012. A week which saw scientists pinpoint the location of Krypton, a Man of Steel 3D announcement, and new McDonald's Young Justice Happy Meal toys. Let's jump straight into it. In movie news, Warner Brothers Pictures and Legendary Pictures announced this week that Man of Steel will be presented in 3D in select theatres, as well as in 2D and IMAX, so fans will be able to experience the much anticipated movie in their format of choice. Zack Snyder, director of the movie, stated, "We've taken great measures to ensure the film and the story come first, and 3D is meant as an enhancement." The LA Times interviewed actress Amy Adams about her film The Master, but conversation turned to Man of Steel, with Adams admitting that she grew up wanting to be Lois Lane, for real. Adams also said, "Our movie has a much more modern take on Lois, but it's very respectful and reverent to Margot Kidder too. She was brilliant in the films they made. I love that she was such a troublemaker." In an interview on Big Morning Buzz Live with Carrie Keeger, Michael Shannon revealed that General Zod will not be uttering the words "kneel before Zod" in the upcoming Man of Steel movie. He was also quoted as saying that Zod is just trying to do his job, just like everybody. There's no TV news this week, with DC Nation still far off in the distance, January next year. But keep an eye on the Superman homepage for our weekly Superman on TV column, which highlights all the Superman programs airing on TV this week in both the US and Australia. In comic book news, DC Entertainment announced this week that its entire line of comic books will now be available for download from the top 3 ebook stores, including the Kindle Store, iBook Store and Nook Store. In addition to now being available through these ebook stores, DC Entertainment will continue to deliver comics online at readdcentertainment.com, through the DC Comics and Vertigo apps, and all Comixology platforms. Scott Lobdell attended the Long Beach Comic Con this past weekend and answered fan questions about his plans for the monthly Superman comic book. He said that Lois will continue to play a huge part in Clark's life, though the romance established with Wonder Woman in Justice League will continue. Earlier this week, DC Comics announced that astrophysicist Neil deGrasse Tyson had helped them find the exact location where the planet Krypton would have existed in our universe. An animated video was also released explaining how Tyson and his colleagues went about locating just where Krypton would be. This was all for issue number 14 of Action Comics, on sale now, in which Tyson himself makes an appearance, helping Superman to pinpoint the exact location of his home planet. Superman comics we reviewed this week included Action Comics Annual Number 1, which is reviewed by Michael Bailey, who gave it a 5 out of 5, saying, "Sholly Fish did an incredible job writing this story." And Mark Pritchard reviewed Superman Family Adventures Number 6, saying, "This book continues to be everything it's supposed to be, but it's already starting to feel stale," but he still gave it a 4 out of 5 score. We do have a review of Superman Earth 1 Volume 2 forthcoming, so keep an eye on the website for that. And Superman comics available this week from November 7 include Action Comics number 14, which is available in a variant cover, a digital combo pack, and a black and white cover. DC Nation number 2, Smallville Season 11 number 7, JLA Earth 2 trade paperback is available in a new printing. Stone Arch Books have released a new series of DC superhero chapter books featuring the Man of Steel, giving young readers glowing examples of bravery, loyalty and true heroism. Grab the Man of Steel The Poison Planet for just $5.95, or the Man of Steel Demons of Deep Space, also just $5.95. These and other great Stone Arch books are available from your one-stop Superman shop, the Superman homepage online store at supermanhomepage.com/shop. From now until November 20th, with each McDonald's Happy Meal, kids can enjoy the exciting adventures of Young Justice fingerboards. There are 6 Young Justice fingerboards to collect: Robin, Batman, Superboy, Superman, Aqualad and Kid Flash. The HappyMeal.com website also has a Young Justice pack you can download. NetherRealm Studios released a behind-the-scenes video for the upcoming video game Injustice Gods Among Us, with developers and artists discussing the inner workings of the game and what they love most about working on this project. You can pre-order Injustice Gods Among Us for its April 2013 release for either the PS3, Xbox 360 or Nintendo Wii U from our online store. The US Court of Appeals panel heard arguments this week from DC Comics over whether or not Laura Siegel Larson, Jerry Siegel's daughter, has the right to terminate her family's share of Time Warner and DC's existing copyright to the Superman character, as ruled by a California court in 2008. No ruling has yet been handed down, but we'll keep you posted as this story develops. That's all the Superman news there was for the week November 2nd to November 8th. I'm Steve Younis from SupermanHomepage.com.
Great Scott! Great Scott! Great Scott!
Hello, everyone. Sorry about that. It's very early in the morning. It's cold, as you can see. I'm sporting the two-shirt look now. I got long johns on. It's like 22 degrees outside. But you ever meet those people who, years and years ago, a movie comes out, and everybody's excited about it, talking about it, and, you know, it's all the rage. And then years go by, and it's no longer the rage, and those people come to you, and they say, hey, I saw this great movie, I want to talk about it. And it's that movie. It's the movie that came out years ago, and nobody cares about anymore. Well, I'm that guy. Superman, Earth 1. J. Michael Straczynski and Shane Davis. You know, this was made, you know, like 6 years ago. And I just read it recently, and I want to talk about it now. So, I'm going to. Here's the thing. If you read a book like this, watch a show like Smallville, check out Man of Steel when it comes out in theaters, like Lois and Clark, or watch the Justice League cartoons where Superman is a part, you're watching alternate takes on the origin, the story, the continuing adventures. It's never, rarely ever, is there going to be a Hollywood adaptation, a novel written by somebody, a story, even a current line of comic books that lives up to every single incarnation that's ever come before. Especially when you have a one-shot like this. Now, the reason I wanted to talk about this now is because Earth 1 Volume 2 is pretty much available now, I think just about anywhere you can buy your books, online or in your stores. And so that makes this relevant again because it was the first one that started it all. Now, it's been years. So, as I mentioned, when you have a one-shot or a small mini-series or a 12-book thing where it's going to end and you know you have only a certain amount of issues to tell what you want to tell, it always seems like those are the stories that people like the most. I'm not saying this one. I'm just saying in general. People mention Kingdom Come all the time. People mention Red Sun all the time. I hear All-Star oftentimes, Superman All-Star. And I think that the reason for that is that the writers and the artists knew going in where they were going to and where they were going to stop and how the story was going to end, and they had a specific point to tell. When you have a continuing series going, like the regular line of comics, Superman, Man of Steel, Action Comics, that is always ongoing and you're simply telling ongoing adventures, you may have individual points you want to get across in an episode, but it's not a finite story. It's going on and on and on. So I think it's much harder to make it something that's going to stick with you every moment, as opposed to having one book, you know, that fits across. In your mind, something like this will stick with you longer because you're used to having a book every month of action, a book every month of Superman, a book every month, you know, of Supergirl, these things. So they're not as special. And I think that it's not so much that they're not good for what they are. It's just that people tend to remember the hardcovers, the ones that come out that are talked about, that are much hyped. But as far as Earth 1, I actually enjoyed it. I actually thought the art was really good, and that helps because, you know, when you're a single book coming out, you can take the time to really make the art something special. Not that the art isn't good in the monthly books, but they don't have as much time. I've actually been pretty pleased with the New 52 art in general on most of the books that I'm reading. But you know, this is another reason why these standalone books oftentimes are people's favorites, or are the ones that people mention when they're asked what books you should read. Because I think that they're a prestige format. They have wonderful artwork. They've got the shiny pages. They're really taken care of, and they're planned out. I enjoyed Earth 1. It was a little bit different. There was a different take. I like an intelligent Superman, a Superman who can outthink people, who can speed read, who knows different languages. This is a Superman that makes sense to me. I'm not saying it's a guy who should be able to juggle planets or make galaxies in his house, but I do think that, I don't know, the guy who I first got used to was a guy who was really intelligent, was a guy who was worldly, who had traveled, who knew things about the world. He wasn't just a dumb guy who was strong. And sometimes that's who people think Superman is, a big dumb jock who just happens to have superpowers. But Superman is smart, and Superman would be able to figure things out. He'd be able to follow clues, but he's also strong as well. If you like that kind of a story, and you like an alternate take on an origin, we've seen so many origins of Superman in recent years, and we're on another one now in the New 52, that some people get weary of it. But this is just another take, and it's by a pretty well-known comic book writer, Straczynski, and it's got great artwork, and it'll help you to get prepared for Volume 2, which is out now. Thank you very much, everybody, for watching. And remember, always look up in the sky.